So did you have a nice holiday?
I did. It was a great Thursday. Really enjoyed the Thursday and the Friday off. It was fantastic. Yes.
Not really a traditional English holiday, is it?
No, but, as Americanized as I am, I enjoy having some turkey, even though my two boys do not eat turkey.
They don't?
Is a bum. No.
Doesn't everyone eat turkey? It's just plain white meat.
They're pretty good eaters, but for whatever reason, they don't eat turkey. So, So my wife had to make a ham, so we had ham and turkey, plus all the fixings. But
nice.
It was good.
Nice.
How was yours?
Just the five of you?
Just and my in-laws. Yeah, my mother-in-law and father-in-law came up.
We had just the five of us for the first time because, old broken wing here couldn't travel.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But it was nice. It was nice having everybody here. And, it's nice getting back in the saddle here on the podcast front because I haven't seen you since...
Episode 200.
There you go. It's been a long time.
Otherwise, we had all these things made. You just play them once.
Exactly.
It's a complete waste.
And did you see on our Twitter account, Jurgen Klopp said congratulations?
I did see that. And by the way, there's more exciting coaching news coming up later on in the show. So let's get to it.
And now, Free Kicks. Free Kicks with Illinois Youth Soccer Association's Director of Coaching, Adam Howarth, and Rick Kemper.
Episode 201 of the show. And actually, I joke about the fact that it's not really a holiday in England, Thanksgiving. Obviously, it's not. But, boy, there's some big news over the weekend in the Premier League. And I got to admit, I'm not quite sure I understand this whole story that well. If you missed it, Everton, which had been on a pretty good run and gotten out of the bottom of the Premier League table and had gotten more mid-table, all of a sudden was hit with a reduction in points, it's called.
Yeah.
10 points just taken away from them. Please explain to our young American listeners out there.
Yeah. It's crazy situation. This happened on Friday. It truly was a Black Friday for Everton.
Yeah.
It was, my goodness, this was crazy. But the main gist of it is basically Everton had combined losses of over 370 million over the past 3 years. And the Premier League allows only 105 million. So because of that, and this was the only sanction against them, and part of this is also they don't necessarily have all the lawyers to stop all of this, to kind of delay it,
right,
like some of the other clubs do who have a little bit more money.
Yeah.
That led to the deduction going down very quickly. So, 10 points. So it doesn't seem fair, and that's why everybody's up in arms, because it's very controversial, because other clubs, to name a couple, Manchester City and maybe you could throw Chelsea into that mix as well.
Certainly could. $1 billion.
But they've been able to kind of delay things and been able to kind of hold things up. Whereas with Everton, it was just kind of cut and dry. And so that made it a little bit more difficult for them to deal with that situation. So, tough, because I think the main two areas that Everton struggle with is and actually it was interesting because I think I was there when this took place. They lost some sponsorship from a company out of the Ukraine. I'm sorry. The war in Ukraine affected their account with a Russian company. So it was like £200 million or something. So that was a massive potential loss, which kind of leaked into their losses. And then, if you haven't seen already, they're building a new stadium too.
Yeah,
so all of those things, plus they bought some players that weren't very good and they couldn't sell them. Basically, the trifecta took place, and they ended up, in a really, really tough situation.
Well, it sounds to me like if you have a rule about a club losing too much money, and they happen to be in the middle of building a giant stadium, and you want them to be punished for losing that money. Sending them down to the championship doesn't seem like the best way for them to make money. To recover. You know what I mean? It just seems like a weird way to punish them.
It's a tough one. Though I agree, because they can't get back.
Right.
And so and it's almost like it's like a penalty kick and a red card at the same time. So it's like one of those things where it's a what do they call it? Double jeopardy type of situation, where they're kind of in a situation where they are really being punished twice, because of it. And the worst thing is it's the players and the fans that feel it the most. I mean, you could see the emotions that were extremely high in the game on Saturday.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it only lasted a few minutes because we know what happened.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. But I just wanted to understand the difference between this situation and, say, Chelsea's a few years ago when Frank Lampard was a coach, where they just limited the number of moves they could make in the window. You know what I mean? In the transfer window, and they said, listen, you can't spend any money in the next 3 transfer windows or something. Why couldn't they have done something like that instead of? I mean, this is so drastic on a team that is, in danger of going down already. Yeah. In fact, I picked them to go down this year.
Yeah, nice job.
Thank you.
Don't you feel kind of bad about that?
I do, actually. Yes, I do feel bad. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I think exactly, and I think that's the biggest thing is the others have been accused. It's a bit like the whole court system, right? So there's an accusation. We're able to delay. Poor Everton didn't have that opportunity. It was black or white situation, and this was the penalty. And I think that's what makes it so difficult. I totally agree with you. Could they have done something different in terms of? Yeah, they can't use it. They can't buy any new players.
Right. The idea is, look, obviously, they haven't benefited from these moves. You know what I mean? So, that would be the argument to me to take away, say, Manchester City points because they cheated to get better players, allegedly. Right?
Allegedly. Only allegedly.
Allegedly. So taking away their points, that would make sense. But taking away the points of the team that just blundered their way into huge debt, that makes no sense to me.
Yeah. Now, on the other side, maybe this might help the Everton cause. They can appeal. And I think this happened in the Italian league with Juventus a few years ago when they got points deducted because of some financial irregularities. There's a good chance that 10 points might be changed potentially to maybe half of that. Okay. So depending on the appeal. So that would be obviously a huge, huge benefit to Everton. But that could take a little while. But
all right.
They've gone from 14 points to 4 points, which makes it difficult.
It sure does. So let's talk about the game because they were playing against Manchester United, who hasn't been great lately. And then, boy, oh boy! I mean, the crowd. You mentioned the crowd was fired up. They're ready to get behind their boys in blue. And then the opening. Well, I guess it was 20 minutes into the game, but it was an unbelievable goal. A old-fashioned bicycle kick from the top of the box into the corner of the net, and I think people are going to be replaying that goal over and over and over again. Special
goal. In fact, it was 3 minutes in. I mean,
it was that early.
In. Yeah. Garnacho scored. It was 3 minutes in. Yeah. Arguably people are saying this is the best goal ever in the Premier League. They're comparing it to Rooney's goal against Manchester City, his overhead kick.
Right.
But the skill needed and the precision and the ability to kind of, do the classic bicycle kick to get up there. I certainly hope ESPN put that on the number one play of the day, because if it doesn't, we have some serious problems. But yeah, it was absolutely amazing strike, and unfortunately, Everton just never recovered after that. And they kind of huffed and puffed at the beginning, and they had some chances. Ashley Young didn't help the cause by doing some goofy things. It made it really difficult. And
by the way, you love it when your most experienced player does stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, he just had a bad game, and that was, that happens. That's part of it. And Onana in goal for Manchester United made a couple of great saves.
He did.
I
thought Everton actually played pretty well. They just lost 3-0.
Yeah.
So let's talk about another team near the bottom of the table, but not in the relegation zone anymore. A team that boldly you predicted would have less than 10 points at the end of the season.
Right. Yeah.
Luton Town they won a game over the weekend, and they now have 9 points. And I think the Luton fans will now accept your humble apology. Go ahead.
Well, like I said, they're not going to get to 10, and I'm going to stick by it.
You're staying with that. Okay.
Yeah, and don't be surprised if there's a 10-point deduction going their way for some financial irregularities.
Oh, no,
I'm not
wait
sure
a minute.
about that.
That's cheating.
Yeah. I'm looking at their next 3 games. Brentford, they're not going to beat Brentford.
No.
Manchester City and Arsenal, see ya. That's going to demolish their confidence. And then from then on, it's going to be down the pipes. So I'm going to stick with it. I'm shocked that they are. I must confess, I am surprised that they are doing as well. They scored, late on. It was 1-1, and then they scored again to win the game with about 5 minutes left in the game against Crystal Palace. So that's it. So, 2-1 is quite a result for them, especially at home, because that was their first home win.
All right. Well, I just wanted to point that out. We'll see if it remains. So the apology, Luton Town fans, not coming yet.
Not yet.
Okay. Let's talk about the top of the table, because that's actually quite interesting this year. I like it when it's like this instead of just a runaway.
Oh, yeah. It's great.
That was a great game, Liverpool against Manchester City, I hear. It was at 6:30, so I did not get up to watch it, even though I love Liverpool. But what that draw did is open the door for Arsenal, who had to only win their match, and they did it. And so there they are at the top of the table. But don't look now. There's another team that is just 2 points off, and that's Aston Villa, who is now in the top 4. So that's all. They're all within 2 points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's great. Couldn't have asked for a better competitive season. And I still think, and I know we've talked about this, Manchester City is still the cream of the crop. There's no question about that. And it's nice that they're letting everybody have a little bit of a chance this year. I just feel like they're just sitting there in the peloton. They're just waiting to just make their move.
Exactly.
They're letting those guys go out a little bit ahead. Don't go, you'll be fine. Go ahead, go a little further. Then we're just going to pull you back. So I get that sense, but it certainly makes it for a lot more chatter. Gives us some more content for this show, that's for sure. And I think that it's great to see that Aston Villa, big win against an absolutely depleted Tottenham team. Their injuries are just craziness. That's
a prediction that you got correct.
Yeah, exactly. After the Chelsea, and typically what happens when Chelsea beats them, they go downhill. I think the toughest thing for them is again, though, they have been massively hurt with injuries.
Right.
Although that didn't hurt Newcastle United, another team that's been hurt with injuries, and an emphatic win on the weekend too.
Yeah, and they're sniffing their way up the ladder.
Yeah, but it's close. It's good. I mean, it's kind of nice to see where everybody's at. You can see even the middle of the pack are close enough that there's still a chance to get into Europe. So, I think it's an exciting time for sure.
And talk to you a little bit about Arsenal, because I've been watching them the last couple of weeks, and they're trying to figure out a way to incorporate Kai Havertz into that lineup, and it's not really working. He doesn't really fit. And then Havertz goes home to Germany, and where do they play him in the German national team now? They're playing him at left back. Like what's going on with him?
I don't know. That tells you everything about the German national team.
Yeah, kidding.
It's all over the place, that's for sure. But credit to him, my goodness. Havertz comes on as a substitute and scores the winner.
He does, yeah.
It's an amazing achievement from him. And I think he needed something like that. Like you said, he needed to make a little bit of a defining impact, especially because you remember Arsenal signed him for $65 million. Yeah, this is not exactly a cheap guy to have on the bench here. I mean,
he basically plays the same position as Odegaard, though, doesn't he? I mean, isn't that really the problem?
Yeah, he's an 8, 10, 9, 11.
Yeah, right.
So he's like, I don't know, and I think that was the thing that Lampard struggled with. He could figure out where he should play. I think there were so many coaches who worked with him. They just didn't know where his best position is, and maybe it is left back.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah,
but it's been a challenge for sure.
So of the other teams, we already mentioned that you think City's still going to win it, and I agree too. Yeah. Do you think Arsenal has the best chance to knock them off, or would it be one of the others?
I still like Liverpool over Arsenal.
I just wanted you to say it.
I know. I get it. I think I just think Liverpool's just got a little bit more. I think, especially from an attacking standpoint, not that Arsenal can't attack. It just seems like they've kind of fallen on some harder times from a goal standpoint, but Liverpool can always find a way to score no matter what, even if it's pushing Trent Alexander-Arnold into the midfield or whatever it may be.
By the way, did you see the goal that he scored for England, Trent?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, he seems like he's coming into his own playing in the midfield. I mean, it's great because he doesn't have to defend.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really the best position for him.
Right.
You know, if he doesn't have to defend, I think he can be very beneficial. But again, he's a luxury player, right? So he's that type of a player. You know, there's lots of better defenders out there, but he scored a great goal, really nice goal against Manchester City to find the corner there. That was a really nice goal.
Okay, Free Kicks is brought to you by the Illinois Youth Soccer Association.
Illinois Youth Soccer has been serving the Illinois soccer community since 1975 and has a strong history of credibility. Illinois Youth Soccer is a non-profit corporation, official state association and charter member of the U.S. Soccer Federation, official state association and charter member of U.S. Youth Soccer, and administers U.S. Soccer Federation coaching programs, the Olympic Development Program, and referee programs. For more information, go to illinoisyouthsoccer.org.
And I think we have a teaser. Well, let me play the jingle for you.
Yeah. And now, the latest Chicago area soccer news. Soccer news. With Coach Adam. Coach Adam.
More of a tease of the...
More of a tease.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So typically in December, we have a Coaches Connection in person. But we're going to switch it up. We're actually going to go back to Zoom, partly because we have a special guest. So a special guest coming on December the 6th. It's going to be at 9 a.m. Information will be coming out through all our media outlets here in the next few days. So when you hear this, you're going to say, I better check my email to make sure I can register, because we have a special guest coming in for a webinar. All I can tell you is he coaches a national team. that we're very aware of. So I think this is going to be an absolute coup for the association, thanks to my boss, Mary Jane, for making that connection. And we're really excited to bring that to all of our members. So look out for something in the very, very future. Certainly when you listen to this, you'll be able to check your emails and register for that fantastic webinar. Yeah.
Well, that's exciting news. Have you seen there's a new movie out about a soccer coach?
Yeah, I think it was based on Thomas Rongen. Is that right? If I remember something about when he coached he coached a team. I think it was what was the country?
Samoan team or something.
Yeah.
I've just seen the commercials, but it's written by the guy who did Jojo Rabbit, which is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Of course.
I'm definitely going to check it out. It's awesome. I'll have a report for you soon on that.
It's Next Goal Wins is what it's called.
Yes.
Yeah, it's got Michael Fassbender, who's plays Thomas Rongen as the manager of the Dutch. He's a Dutch American coach. Actually, very good friends with my uncle. Maybe we'll try and get an interview. We'll work on it. Yeah, we could try and do that. So we'll see.
Okay.
By the way, talking of movies, went to see Napoleon.
How was that?
Well, if you like a lot of gore and guts, you're going to get a lot of gore and guts. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the history. My son, who's a history buff, he was very quick to point out all of the discrepancies with everything. But for entertainment, definitely worthwhile.
Okay.
Definitely would do it. So, yeah, there you go. Not only is this a soccer show, it's a movie critic show as well. So we do everything here. Absolutely.
Hey, it's all entertainment when it comes right down to it. Speaking of that, we have the most entertaining part of the show right now.
Time now to guess the Premier League star.
Okay, now I have decided that these have been too easy.
Oh, really?
And you really scarred me with guessing it on the second guess, the second clue a few weeks ago. So this one's going to be a little tougher. But, remember to play along at home. And those of you who can beat Adam in this, it's like a badge of honor because you're beating the foremost expert on Premier League soccer. So a man that knows every player on every team.
Wow, what a build-up. No pressure.
All right, here we go.
I don't know the Luton players. That's all I know.
It's all right. They've stopped listening after your terrible things that you've said to them.
That's true.
This week's player is 28 years old. And he is definitely a Premier League star, right? So I'll give you that. He has played for 3 big clubs professionally and is currently on his second Premier League club. All right, so he played over 120 games for the first 2 clubs that he played for, one of which was a Premier League club, the other of which was in his native land, not England. Okay?
In his native land.
Yes. He's a foreigner.
Okay.
All right.
I thought I had it too. Bummer.
He wears number 19 and plays forward.
Okay.
There aren't a lot of 19s out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of 19s, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think every team has a 19.
Whatever. He has 30 caps for his national team and has scored 7 goals. And his national team is pretty good. And has been for a while.
Okay. Would he play for Brazil?
No. Not that good.
So I guess I need to define. So pretty good is not that good. Okay. Just want to make sure I'm clear
Brazil.
on that.
I mean, come on. No, this is I'll tell you this. It's a European team.
Okay.
The European national team. His former team is in the top 10 of the Premier League table right now. His current team is higher than that.
Would they be in the top 4?
They would be.
They're in the top 4. Would they be number 1?
They would be.
Okay. Would this player be from Belgium?
He would be.
Formerly played with Brighton and Hove Albion. Would that be fair to say?
That would be fair to say. He is prematurely gray.
And he is from, I wish I could pronounce, I'm going to try my best, Maasmechelen in Belgium.
Could
and
be.
He's played for Westerlo, not Waterloo, which was part of the movie that I just watched. But
did they get that part right? Was Waterloo still Napoleon's?
Yeah. a little bit. It is Leandro Trossard.
It is Trossard.
Yeah.
He counts as a star, doesn't he?
Oh, definitely. I would definitely put him as a star. He's one of those lower level stars.
Yeah.
He normally comes off the bench, but he actually started the other day, so I was a bit surprised.
Yeah. How'd you like to have that little weapon coming off the bench?
Great little player. Yeah, exactly. Especially when you play for your national team. And I think he's a starter for the Belgian national team. So
he is. And that team is, that window is closing on that team, wouldn't you say, on the Belgian team?
Definitely, yeah. The injuries are starting to. Not obviously, De Bruyne has been out most of the season. Lukaku, although he's scoring a few goals lately, they're just getting older. Like you said, yeah, you're right. They're getting past it. So
Griezmann, right? Isn't he one of the?
No, Griezmann is not. He's French.
No, who am I thinking of? The other
Tielemans. Is it Tielemans you're talking about?
It'll come to me.
That's all right.
Yeah,
no problem.
Griezmann is French.
Yeah.
It's another guy that plays exactly like that and wears number 10. Little guy. It'll come to me.
Yeah. No, that's fine. I got you. I'm with you.
Oh, what? It's the guy who used to play for Chelsea.
He used to play for Chelsea from Belgium?
Yeah.
Where's he playing now?
I don't know. Right. It'll come to me. Where's Hazard?
Eden Hazard.
Yes.
Yeah. Is that yes. Yeah, that was ages ago. He's retired.
Yeah.
Done
what?
And dusted.
So what? That's what I'm saying. Their window is closing. That window is closing.
No. When you were saying, he's done and dusted. I mean, it's a shame. He should have come back to Chelsea. I mean, it was just as soon as he left to go to Real Madrid, it all went downhill for him, unfortunately.
His little brother's still playing, though, right?
Yeah. Thorgan Hazard.
Yeah. That's what I was going to name my fourth son if we had another one. All right. I can't believe I couldn't think of Hazard's name.
Sorry,
he's like one of the biggest stars in the world.
He was one of my favorite players. I feel bad I couldn't help you out. Yeah. Sorry about that.
All right. It's time for this important part of the show.
Now time for Adam's Weekend Soccer TV Tip.
I always got Griezmann and Hazard mixed up because they kind of looked similar. They kind of had a similar style of play.
Nothing like each other at all. I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly. All right, so we're back after that international break that killed us. We are back to having matches on television. What can we watch this weekend? I
tell you what, the international break, I'm literally walking around the house like a lost puppy. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do.
I almost said, do you have any chores for me to do, honey? But I did.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I cut the grass. Okay.
Wow.
Now I don't need to. There's snow on it, so it's great. But no, two great games. I think so. It's a good schedule. You got kind of a half and half. I like it when they do half the games on Saturday, half on Sunday. So you've got lots of games to watch. But I think there's two games. Saturday, I think there's going to be a good one. Newcastle, who will be fresh off, and Man United, both of them will be fresh off their European adventures. This would be today. Newcastle, we were taping this on Tuesday. They play PSG, which is good. So I don't know if my daughter's going to go to the game. That would be pretty cool. But Newcastle, Man United, That's on Saturday. But the big one has to be Sunday, December the 3rd, on Peacock. Manchester City at home at the Etihad against the Tottenham Hotspurs. Let's see how that pans out. 10:30 a.m. kickoff, so that's great for your time.
Yeah.
The Newcastle game's at 2 o'clock, so none of these early games that will start at 8 or 9. Perfect. Great stuff.
Love it. All right. Free Kicks is brought to you by Green White Soccer Club, which is a club that I'm currently the president of, and we have our big Christmas party this weekend for the senior board. Looking forward to that. Greenwhitesoccer.org is where you can find out more about our club. This show has been executive produced by Tony Lasano. Thanks to Tony at opishows.com for putting this together for us every week. Thanks also to Ed Silla from the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. Great talk radio isn't dead. It just moved to a better place. RadioMisfits.com. And we'll be back again next week with a brand new episode of Free Kicks.